Welcome, everybody, to A Late Show. I am your host, Stephen Colbert. It's a very special day here in the Ed Sullivan converted storage closet because Evie is here. And also, for the first time in 14 months, I will have an actual in-person guest tonight, Mr. John Krasinski, who is here to talk about his new movie, A Quiet Place 2. Well, he's come to the right spot because for the last year, there has been no quieter place on earth than this room. I got to tell you, there's nothing like telling a joke and then hearing your own heartbeat. Anyway, thanks for being here, John.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
Thank you for being in the second chair. When they said, do you want to have John Krasinski be your first live in-person guest? I said, sure, that would be great. And Evie said, what are you talking about?
That's right. Back off, buddy.
Yeah, no, I knew. I could feel the competition. There's a wall of tension.
Exactly. We were going to sit you in that chair, and she said, and I mean, she's obviously a lady. She said,
Wait,
that's my chair. That's my chair. Krasinski can just get in the rumble seat.
I haven't seen a switchblade since 1976, and she pulled one out.
Yeah. Well,
It was real.
we
She said,
play
"I'll
rough.
cut you."
Anyway, thank you for being here. Are you
Thank you
telling me
for
to move
choosing
on?
red chairs.
Are you instructing me to move on? Please
already
don't
going great.
imagine. Please don't imagine that this is going to speed up the show in any way tonight. Anyway, yesterday, the House of Representatives approved a bipartisan commission to study the January 6th riot, but 175 Republicans voted against it, even though they were in the building when it was attacked by the bloodthirsty mob. They opposed it, as do the GOP leaders in the Senate. Why? Apparently, Republicans fear a January 6th probe could undercut their midterm message. That message? Restoring honor to Mr. Potato Head's penis. Republicans seem to think that if they don't talk about January 6th, no one else will either. It's all laid out in the new movie, A Riot Place. You like that one?
That was great.
Know your audience, okay? Know your audience. Thank you. Thank you. That's how you get one of these jobs, ladies and gentlemen. So Republicans don't want to find out why they were almost murdered because it could hurt them politically. Reminds me of that episode of Scooby-Doo.
It's the guy who tried to kill us.
And I got away with it, too. Thanks, kids. Good luck in the midterms.
One man baffled by Republican opposition was Ohio Congressman and fully vaxxed guy who's ready to hug again, Tim Ryan.
I want to thank the gentleman from New York and the other Republicans who are supporting this and thank them for their bipartisanship. To the other 90% of our friends on the other side of the aisle, holy cow. Incoherence. No idea what you're talking about. Benghazi, you guys chased the former Secretary of State all over the country, spent millions of dollars. We have people scaling the Capitol, hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country? Cops. This is a slap in the face to every rank and file cop in the United States. If we're going to take on China, if we're going to rebuild the country, if we're going to reverse climate change, we need two political parties in this country that are both living in reality, and you ain't one of them.
Representative Ryan, I think you dropped this because, wow, what an impassioned speech. That guy should run for president. What? Really? You know who else wasn't pleased with Republican opposition? The Capitol Police, because yesterday an estimated 50 members of the United States Capitol Police sent a letter that read in part, the brave men and women of the USCP were subjected to hours and hours of physical trauma, which has led to months of mental anguish. It is unconscionable to even think anyone could suggest we need to move forward and get over it. As U.S. Capitol Police officers, we're expected to do our jobs with honor and integrity. It's unfortunate that our bosses, Congress, are not held to the same standard. Strong words. This must be particularly tough for Republicans to hear because they're not used to being stopped and questioned by police. Really makes you wonder, just who were these Republicans talking about when they said, back the blue? The guys from Avatar? Cookie Monster? Mitch McConnell's hands? While this letter was written by and comes from Capitol Police officers, it's not an official statement by the Capitol Police. The USCP clarified that it does not take positions on legislation. Fine, technically it's not the police. In the same way, Sting isn't technically the police. But come on, that letter is Roxanne. Evidently, unlike the GOP, the Capitol Police have not forgotten just how violent the January 6th rioters were. Neither has the FBI, because yesterday, the Bureau caught 6 more suspects, and I'll catch you up on the latest in tonight's Seditionist Roundup.
Butter get a good lawyer.
The newest steer to get roped is 37-year-old Daniel Warmus, seen here proving that cats have no moral compass. Warmus was arrested after some keen detective work. He was overheard bragging about the January 6th rampage while having his teeth cleaned at the dentist. Don't you hate it when the dentist asks if you try to destroy democracy while they're scraping off the tartar? I saw the castle. It's part of the fascist too. I'm going to shake your hand with this a little bit later.
Oh, can't.
During the cleaning, Warmus talked of smoking marijuana inside the Capitol and refusing a police officer's orders to leave the building, and even proudly played a video from January 6th. That's a man who really doesn't want to own up to his own poor dental hygiene. Do I floss? Obviously, hey, look at me committing crimes. Now, turning to some good news. It's all about targeted marketing. With vaccinations increasing and the country opening up, restaurant traffic is rocketing back. About damn time. As someone who spent 5 years behind the apron with that little thing that takes the crumbs off your table, I stand with my brothers and sisters in the food service industry. And let me just say, I want to see a 1-minute approach on new tables. Just put a cocktail napkin down so they know you're not ignoring them, okay? Let's move that Cajun shrimp boursin fettuccine. The shrimp's not getting any fresher, and corporate wants us to push the cheddar beer appetizer and the artichoke dip, okay? And don't scoop ice with the rocks glass. If it breaks, we gotta dump the entire bin. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. I'm sorry, I'm just having flashbacks. The resurgence has prompted experts to draw parallels between now and the Roaring '20s, which followed the 1918 influenza pandemic. Of course, these 20s aren't going to be quite as glamorous as the original. Jay Gatsby is going to go from tuxedos and martinis to sweatpants and White Claw. Part of the good news is that restaurants are making more money now than they did pre-pandemic because of people not wanting to linger. And the quicker the tables turn over, the more people can be accommodated each day. And again, as a former waiter myself, I can say that is great news for the lunch shift. They no longer have to bring the check and say, I'm just going to lay this down here, take your time, but we are switching shifts. So Connor is going to be taking care of you. And if you don't pay now, I don't get the tip. And Connor didn't really do any work for you, did he? I mean, I listed every salad dressing and every draft beer twice, even though they're all written down on the menu. Anyway, I'm going to go over to the prep station and roll silverware and eat free rolls until my soul falls out of my ass. And 5 years. Did you wait tables? Did
Absolutely.
you wait? You did.
Even after the pilot of The Office, I went back and waited tables.
You did?
Wow.
Yeah, that's
What-
how little common.
I was gonna say. Didn't feel good about
What
it.
kind
Yeah.
of place?
I was at the Odeon downtown.
What is that?
Oh,
Is that good?
It's
The
a
Odeon
historic
in New
restaurant
York?
that. Thank you.
Ah,
I'm sorry.
I went there a lot in the 80s.
I don't know.
I mean-
I'm a man of the people.
Really?
I don't really know your fancy.
It's not fancy. It's
No.
like
It's
a
not.
nice, historic. This is culture over here. We'll just talk about culture.
Yeah, we're all into New York City.
We'll edit that out. But there is some bad news for bars because according to a new study, drinking any amount of alcohol causes damage to the brain. I don't want to know that. God, I wish there was some way to erase that information from my mind. What was I talking about? All right, alcohol. The study found no evidence that the type of drink you choose, such as wine, liquor, or beer, affects the harm done to the brain. So it logically follows there's no extra harm in pouring a shot of whiskey into a glass of wine and then dumping it into a pitcher of beer. It's called an alkaduckin. So alcohol is bad for my brain. The problem is, brain's the one that keeps asking me for more alcohol. Who am I to tell my brain what to do? It's perfectly capable of making its own decisions, or it was until I started drinking. So science, can we please hold off on the alcohol studies? They bum me out, then I treat my feelings with alcohol, then I eat a giant pizza, and then I have a wonderful evening. I've got a great show for you tonight. My guest is John Krasinski, but when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?